Let's just get some instant reaction now on those Tesco earnings. I'm joined now by Dan Murphy, a retail specialist at AlixPartners. Dan, I know that those numbers have literally just broken and, not very much time to digest those numbers, but we had a slight increase in trading profit. And as Mark was saying, we're expected overseas sales to be a key driver of growth. What do you make of that?
Well, it's pretty much as we expected. The UK is sort of fairly cautious at the moment. If you look at like-for-like sales, they're very low. America is losing a little bit of money, £80 million a year or something like that, and the growth is coming from Asia, pretty much as expected. I think the interesting thing is what lies beneath the headline figures, which is how are customers spending their money? What's the mix? And I think for me, that's the very interesting bit about, what's the average selling prices? Are they buying cheaper goods? Are they buying own brand? Are they moving away from premium branded goods? Are they cooking more at home? Are they buying raw ingredients? It's all that sort of stuff.
And what about demand in Europe? How is that looking right now?
Well, we've just published our European economic outlook, and actually consumers in Europe are very, very cautious at the moment. About 40% aren't expecting any upturn in their own financial positions before 2012. And we're seeing some very marked changes in consumer behaviour. In particular, dining out has taken a very, very bad hit in Europe, and as a result of that, we're seeing much more raw materials, raw goods being bought in supermarkets, which is why I'm interested to see what the mix of categories is in Tesco's and Sainsbury's later on this week. And there's been a huge shift away from premium branded goods. That we found in our survey is that people are moving away from premium branded goods and towards the supermarket's own brand and discount value non-branded goods.
Could something like that affect, say, Marks & Spencer, which is also reporting this week?
Yes, Marks & Spencer on their Simply Food stores, they do have a very tough time for two reasons. Number one is because all the other supermarkets are doing their own premium branded ranges now, so they've been competing heavily with M&S. And also just because of the general malaise and the general downturn is people are moving away from those premium branded goods. And so that's why I'm very interested to get underneath that headline figure and see what the mix of spend is.
If we look at Tesco's performance so far this year, UK growth has been fairly weak. I suppose the question is, going forward, do you think overseas sales growth, particularly in Asia, will be enough to offset a sluggish performance at home?
Yes, it probably will. We've had a lot of political unrest in the Asian areas where Tesco operates, but yeah, by and large, they're looking at growth coming from overseas. There's lots of complexity around that, but the UK and Western Europe is looking sluggish for the next year or two, and I think Tesco's and others are certainly looking for the main growth coming from Asia.
And as I said, a very busy week for the retail businesses. We've been talking about government tax hikes, cuts in public spending that's likely to impact on consumer confidence. What does that mean for retail businesses?
Well, the most important one is what's going to happen with interest rates. We're going to see the Bank of England Monetary Commission make a decision on interest rates this week. And when those interest rates do start to tick up, as they will have to, that's when we're going to see a real effect on consumer spending. October the 20th, when we see the comprehensive spending review and we start to get some hard numbers about how many public sector employees are being cut, and I think things are going to really start to hit home then, and consumers are going to wake up to how tough these measures are going to be.
Grim forecast. Dan Murphy, retail specialist from AlixPartners, thank you very much for coming in. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.